So I will just start with introductions, just some quick introductions. If you just could go over your
Sure.
name and your role. So all of you already know me, so I'll skip myself. Gary?
Sure. Well, I'd like you to introduce yourself to everybody, but ultimately I'll kick it off and then I'll turn it to Liz. My name is Gary Allen. I'm the president of the Bowie Supportive Housing Corporation, and we're the organization that links up with local churches that sponsors the transitional housing program here in Bowie. And we've worked for the last 8 years or so with victims of domestic violence. But as a result of the COVID crisis, we've decided to expand our ministry and have set aside one of our houses for the refugee support work. The board voted on this in March to move forward on this, and we've been working with Lutheran Social Services to help initiate this. So we're very pleased to get to the point where we have an assigned family. So Gary Allen, thank you very much. And let me turn to Liz Mueller, who's one of our leaders in the whole program.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I'm from All Saints Lutheran Church in Bowie. We will be in the process of doing a specific breakdown of who's able to do what. I think the people you see on the screen, plus one more member from Grace Lutheran Church, are going to be the 5 lead people.
Yes, exactly right. Pat, would you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Pat Layfield. I'm from St. Matthews. And I'm just anxious to get started and work with our new
Thank you,
family.
Pat. And Dave and Jane Miller. And Dave is also, by the way, our property manager, and Jane has also done most of our health and nutrition stuff with our program. So they're both very clued into how we work collaboratively with churches and other members in the community to help support transitional housing programs. So let me ask Jane to introduce herself and then have her husband do so.
So I'm Jane, and I have done mostly the initial setup of the houses with the Bowie Supportive Housing, and that includes food and linens and some of the decorations. And so, yeah, I look forward to working with the Afghanistan's people.
I'm Dave, and I work on the both Alpha and Beta houses. Alpha house is ready to go. We've done a survey. All the items in the house work. We put about $3,500 worth of repairs recently, and we're looking forward to seeing the clients.
Awesome, thank you. So for those of you who have not met me, I'm Ruggero, but I go by Raj. If you cannot roll your R's, not a problem. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for LSS NCA for the state of Maryland. And with me, I have the case manager of the case that you have been assigned with. Sarah, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm not on camera. I am currently driving. My name is Sarah Kissel, and I am a case manager with Lutheran Social Services Greenbelt location. So I am the family's case manager.
And Sarah,
Awesome.
you will provide us with an email for you later on separately so we know how to get in contact with you, correct?
Of course. I can put that in the chat.
Gary, also
helpful.
that Gary, that
Okay.
Sarah's email is also already in the commitment form.
Oh, forgive
That's
me
all
for
right. That's all
missing
right.
that.
No, and I can send that as well. Not a problem. Awesome.
Thanks,
So
Raj.
for our agenda, so for first, Sarah is just going to share a little bit more information on the family. So Gary, I sent you basically basic information, the names of each member, ages and gender.
Right.
And then we will go over each point on the commitment form. And then lastly, we'll just talk about moving in the family and where they're at right now and just scheduling that. So Sarah, can you set it off?
Yes, of course. So The family is currently staying at the Extended Stay Hotel in Landover, Maryland. It is a family of 4, 5, 6. No, wait, 3, 7. Mr.
Right.
Abdul Sami speaks fluent English. He's very, very smart, very bright. Will have no problem getting a job. His wife does not speak any English. And then he has 2 baby girls. One's, I think, around 1. I did not get to meet her. The other one, she's 2, and she is dynamite. She's pretty funny and has a large personality. And then he has 3 sons. And yeah, so the family came from, they were in Doha for a couple months. And they finally were able to come to the United States. So yeah, they just got here. We hope to get them out of the hotel as soon as possible. Yeah, I mean, not really much other than that. I do think, as soon as we get them into a house, we can start with like school registration and stuff, but I'm not super concerned about it right now, just because we are in summer break. But we do want to get on that as soon as they move, and we have proof of like a lease, that they're on a lease, so the kids can go to school in the area. And I guess like one little health concern that has come up is that at the camp one of their sons got like an infection on his knee. It looked like it was bacterial. He was given medicine. Then his like one daughter, the 2-year-old, had something on her face. So we did take them. They were sent to urgent care, and they're fine and just need to complete their antibiotics. But other than that, no major concerns.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm sure that there are already questions coming up, but there will be a space for questions at the end. I just want to get right into the commitment form.
Sure.
So let me see if I can share my screen. Awesome. Could you enable screen sharing for me?
I'm sorry. That's a good question. Give me a moment.
Not a problem. So yeah, if you click on participants and then you click on my name and then more, it'll say you can click on allow to screen share. So you can see the document.
Here we go. Hold on a minute.
Okay,
Okay, you should
Awesome.
be able to do it now.
absolutely. This is perfect. All right. All right. So I realized that I scanned it backwards. So the first page is the second page. My apologies. I'll fix that later. But this is the case number of the family, the case manager, last name of the family size, and their date of arrival, as well as country of origin. Email, I can send it to you better. And then you have committed to 1 year. Thank you so much for the commitment.
Right.
And then we go to the list of activities. So I do have to say, thank you so much. This is 100% the very first time that we have seen a GMP sign up for every single activities. And we've gone through 40 GMPs in the last 1.5 years. This is the very first time I've seen this. So I just wanted to extend thank you so much for being willing and wanting to support the family and our case manager with absolutely everything. That is awesome.
We have lots of resources and contacts, as you saw on the list that I provided earlier. More than 24 people with various skills have stepped forward to support this, including more than 12 congregations. So we have, and community resources. So, and even this morning, members of the Muslim community contacted me wanting to be helpful in this regard. So it's not that we lack contacts and commitment. We just need connections with those folks ultimately, but that'll be the responsibility of the people who are gathered here today to help us make those connections in the community that have offered support for us, Joe.
That is
And so-
awesome. That is awesome. So usually what we do in this section is we kind of go over which activities the case manager will take care of and you won't, and which activities you will and the case manager won't. But in this case, you have signed up for everything. So Sarah, I know that you're driving, just to let you know, they've signed up for absolutely everything. So we're just
Yeah.
going to still go over through every item and just quickly make sure that this is something that you're still interested in doing and have the capacity of doing, and if you need any help surrounding it. So housing, I mean, we have the address, you know, it sounds great. We will talk in a second about scheduling, so we'll do that after the commitment form. So we'll come back to housing. So we'll go right into stocking the pantry. Are you still comfortable with purchasing 2 weeks worth of culturally appropriated
No
groceries?
problem at all. We have the resources. Jane has the
Awesome.
contacts. That's not a
Awesome.
problem at all. That's one of the easiest things along with housing for us.
Awesome. Are you comfortable with picking up the family from their hotel? I know it says airport here, but from their hotel and bringing them to the new home at whatever date?
Yes,
Awesome,
can-
awesome.
we can work that out. We have at least 2 or 3 volunteers who would be willing to assist in that, and I'm sure we can work it out.
Awesome. In their first day in their new home, would you be comfortable in providing a hot meal ready to eat? I know we say culturally appropriate, but we've even had clients ask for pizza or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, such serious on the culturally appropriate part, just on the hot meal part.
Well, I know that Liz and Heineke have talked about that. Liz, you want to comment on that? I think we can accommodate an initial meal. Obviously, that'll be related to the schedule we talked about earlier,
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
pardon me, but yes, I think that we can easily do that.
Awesome. Yeah, so just for move-in day, just for the very first step, because although they will have food in the pantry, that you're stocking it, which is awesome. You know, they might be tired, too tired to cook, and so on. ESL enrollment. So we enroll all of our clients to the community colleges for ESL enrollment. So we just submit an application for them. There's a refugee ESL free program, virtual for all levels, different times of classes. Awesome. So are you comfortable in enrolling our clients in this community college, or do you have other ESL classes that you're thinking of enrolling the client, or would you like us to help with this?
Well, I would say you should enroll them.
Okay,
But we also have 2 volunteers that have ESL experience
all right.
that are available to help in this area. And let me turn to Liz and or anyone else who wants to comment on that, but I'm familiar with CCPC, and that's one of the other churches that are not represented here today that have offered a congregant who's an ESL teacher, okay?
That's perfect. Yeah. So Sarah, keep in mind, and I will send this back to written. So it's still on you to apply for the community, submit the referral to the community colleges, whichever community college you're closest to.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. I will definitely do that.
Awesome.
And I
awesome.
wrote that, I did
And
pull over. I
Liz
wrote-
has
I
a
wrote that
question,
down.
Rajo.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Raj, when some of us had a consultation with a fellow from the Afghan community that settled in Hyattsville, Dave helped me out here. He indicated, we asked him about how, I specifically asked whether it became cumbersome to try to get the adults enrolled in ESL classes. And he said, yes. He also is very adept with English and said he, despite his skills, was not able to enroll himself. And I believe, wasn't it at Prince George's County Community College, Dave?
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
that's
wow.
my understanding.
So,
Well,
so clearly I got the sense that we will need some assistance.
not a problem. We'll take care of it. So we have connection with the colleges, so we'll take care of enrolling them in the community college class. Yeah, we'll do that. Sarah just agreed, so that's totally fine. Thank you for sharing that. I guess we're lucky because we get all our clients in. But yeah, thank you for sharing.
It may
Thank
be,
you very much. Go ahead, Liz.
No, it may be because you are from LSS. It may
Yeah, connected with
simply,
them.
since he tried to do it just as an individual resettled refugee, he was not able to accomplish it.
Yeah, we're definitely in close ties with both PG and Montgomery County Community Colleges. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, we're more than happy to do this. So awesome. Just moving to transportation. So transportation here specifically refers to providing an engaging orientation of the local public transportation system and other transportation options. So this would be to show them where the closest bus stop is, maybe how to reach the closest grocery store using public transportation, how to reach the closest pharmacy store using public transportation, and making sure that they're comfortable with the public transportation system surrounding them, as all of our clients come without cars. Are you still
Do you-
comfortable in providing this?
The
Information?
answer is yes, but let me
Awesome.
modify that yes in this way. It's our intention to provide them with a card that
Wow.
allows them to use Uber, much like a grocery card where they can buy food, okay? We don't plan to give them cash, but we will give them cards that they can redeem for certain services in the community. Do you have any experience with that? Because that's our intention to do that
I
right
don't.
now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. So our experience with that, and I don't know if it's just coincidence or because it's the best method, it is also with either gift cards or Visa cards. So all donation, we don't want clients to receive checks or cash. Whatever services that there is need additional, especially if you sign up for them, then like one that we will cover at the very end, like donations, then yes, absolutely, totally allowed, and we love that and appreciate that.
Okay, that's what we'll do. And we can also provide early support with people on certain occasions, particularly for food shopping or something like that. And we have access through Jane, as she can emphasize, reduce cost for shopping. And we want to take them to the closest available Afghan market in the area. And to my knowledge, that means traveling a bit of a distance to find the kind of food that they would maybe be most comfortable with. So we'll try to really be sensitive and offer both in the short run, okay? The local grocery and a culturally relevant one.
That is incredible. We appreciate
Raj,
that
can I
dearly.
just
Yeah.
say
Sarah.
something real quick? That is amazing. There's one thing I just want to let you guys know is that I have applied for the family to get EBT, like SNAP, like food stamps.
Great.
So they're going to be
Good.
getting an EBT card in the mail, hopefully relatively soon, in the next couple weeks, since we just got the family. So they will have that for food. My recommendation to a lot of my clients is anything that doesn't need to be like halal, like any meat or anything, like you buy that at a grocery store with your EBT card, and then everything else like that you need to buy, like that's halal, because they usually don't take EBT cards. They could use some of those gift cards that you talked about, or they will be signed up for an additional cash assistance program, and they can use their cash assistance for it. So something I just wanted to say that. And so yeah, that's it.
Sarah, from,
Great advice.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I interrupted somebody.
No, go ahead. I was just saying great advice.
Sarah, from our Afghan consultant, he seemed to emphasize that meat was the item that it was most important to purchase only in a halal market.
Yeah.
Right. So in that case, that's when you use your cash assistance. But everything else that doesn't need to be halal, they should buy in a regular grocery store with their EBT card.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be
because-
using their cash assistance for things like vegetables and stuff, if like those don't need to be halal, and they're cheaper usually in stores. So in that case, yes, when it comes to meat, or like other like specific things that they can only really get, like they should get those at like a halal market. But anything else, they really should just be getting at a normal grocery store where they can utilize their EBT card and their food stamps.
Yeah,
Okay,
Can I
because
just,
because
let
the
me be
food
clear,
stamps.
you're gonna apply for food stamps for them?
I already did. So I
Oh,
already applied
thank
for
you.
food stamps.
Okay.
I sent it in last week.
Okay.
So, it takes a couple weeks. Sometimes you like have to get the family to like physically go there, or to like meet with our DSH person, but, yeah, it's been applied for, so we're just waiting for it to come in the mail. It'll be coming to our office since they are not in their permanent, housing situation right now.
Okay, I
I
want to be
talked-
clear, we have hired on a short-term basis, an Afghan consultant with one of the local families who's also a former UN staff person who's now with his family come to the United States, and we've been working with them. And so as in an effort to familiarize our volunteers with the expectations of a newly arrived family, we've developed a contractual relationship with him to help advise us on these issues. So I want you to know we're going to continue to use that relationship to inform us so that we don't have to lean on you for every single thing that we might be ignorant about.
That is so kind. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate all resources, and that sounds great. I think they're definitely going to be extremely helpful. Moving on for the pre-employment. So for pre-employment, for the initial task, it was just to figure out a little bit what are certain career goals, short-term and long-term, with the family, and then to share with the case manager. So the case manager is the person that refers the clients to our employment programs. And so just to provide Sarah a little information. So this one is very simple. And then for public benefits, the food stamps has already been applied for. So that's done. And social security card, Sarah?
So they're on SIV status.
All right.
So, yeah, so that'll just automatically come.
Yeah, so both social security cards and food stamps, they don't have to apply to. The only other one that would need an application would be for electricity assistance. And you can do this after you get your first electric bills. But I'm not sure exactly how that is going to work, since they will be at your home. I mean, the housing that you
We'll
guys
cover
have.
all
Yeah.
electricity and housing
Yeah.
things independent of the family. They
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that
Yeah,
stuff, okay?
so we can basically skip public benefits because it's already
Hey,
done.
can I just ask a question
Yeah.
here? So we get, Gary, we get separate electric bills designated for each of the houses. So we could in fact use the assistance, if they qualify for it, to pay part of that, that bill.
Awesome. Yeah. So in Maryland, it's called OHEP, and I can just send the link.
Okay.
But yeah, you need the family to first, the family to be on the lease, and then you will need the first electric bill for that family.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I'll send that over. So thank you. Are you comfortable in completing this electricity assistance application, or would you like us to do it?
We'd like you to work, or whoever it is, with our treasurer on that, okay? The budget stuff is not part of this group's real daily responsibilities. They're more the direct services to the family. Those financial issues and the separate accounting for them with the churches and others who donated the funds is handled through our treasurer. And he's not a part of this core support group, so he isn't on this conversation. But he's the one who would actually complete the application for the utilities because he pays all of our bills, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Also, just to clarify, it's very simple. You just submit an application, and then they tell you how much assistance they're going to cover for you. So it's just about filling out just the information and kind of a long application, but it's nothing about budgeting or something like that. So you just
Okay,
submit.
well, share it with
Yeah.
us and we'll work with you to
Yeah,
fill it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, Sarah, you were going to say something, sorry?
Yeah, so we actually have someone in our office specifically doing OHEP applications. So, we can just do that as well, but it's
Yeah.
really up to you guys.
Yeah, if you specifically want to, that's great. If not, we can absolutely take care of it.
Yeah, we have
Well-
someone like they have a couple of roles, and one of them is but like doing OHEP applications and figuring that out. So we
Well, I would
could do
like to
that
say-
too if it's yeah.
Please take the initiative and we'll provide the information. But I
Awesome.
want you to know it'll go through our treasurer ultimately because what we're going to do, just to be clear, is we're going to segregate out all expenses and accounting for this program so that we can share with the churches exactly where we're at with stuff. We want to be fully transparent in how we use the donations that are made for this work, okay?
Awesome. Yeah. No, yeah, that sounds great. So,
Liz?
so
Liz had a
Yeah,
quick-
Raj, I know you're trying to go through a lot, but
no worries.
this relates directly to what you've just been going through.
Yeah.
Could you clarify just a little bit more how the pre-employment assessment takes place? Does Sarah have the initial conversation? And then she relays to us what assistance we can give? Or are we to do the assessment with the father about employment?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know assessment sounds like a super serious word. This is why we have two separate activities related to the workforce, so pre-employment and job development. So you've signed up for both. So job development is the one that refers to helping the family once they are already in a program. This is just to when you first meet them, when they move in, you'll most likely be there on move-in day. Because you're going to take the family from the airport. So just to assess what their current goals are. So it can even be just a short paragraph. It doesn't have to be anything serious, just so the case manager can already start moving forward with referring them to the job development. I can cut to the job development as well, but this is what you also signed up for, more about the mentoring with the client. So this would be like resume assistance, job search, interview practice, and all these sorts of activities.
We have done that with victims of domestic violence. And again, volunteers have offered support in this area. But because we've not worked with Afghan refugees or refugees before, your assistance and instruction, along with that of the consultant we've already been talking to, would be most helpful. We want to offer the help, but we also want to welcome the guidance that you can provide us.
Yeah, absolutely. So our job developers are, what I like to highlight, especially for job development, is that by signing up for job development, you are still not responsible for finding the family employment. So once a family joins a job development program, it is automatically the job developer's responsibility to find the family employment. Here, it is just for workforce preparation. So you don't even need to submit any applications or refer to client for any applications. It's literally just to be more prepared. So oftentimes our clients will have like great resumes, but in Afghanistan, they have the 3-page format and we need a 1-page format, and they do like long descriptions. And so it's literally just in helping them be ready for the US workplace. So when the job developer then contacts the family, is, I found a great job for you, can you apply? They're going to submit the resume that you helped make more appropriate for that certain job. So it's always a collaboration, and it's led through by the client working with the job developer. Always, yeah.
Excellent. Liz has got a question and I have one.
In the application that the family submitted to you, or whatever paperwork you initiate with them, was there any indication of what the father's employment was in Afghanistan or not?
So
I did talk about it with him briefly. I can't honestly really remember that well, but he worked with a place, it's like called DI, and then I was looking it up, but I couldn't find, DI on Google searches. It takes you to a whole different realm. But they have an office here, and I told him to reach out to, he knows like the VP. I told him to reach out to that person. But I really, out of a lot of my clients, I'll ask him and follow up about it. But I'm not worried about him getting a job. He's going to be just fine. He is very smart. He speaks good English. He was in charge of a team in Afghanistan of like over a dozen people. Like, he's going to be just fine. So I think just getting his resume looking, good, and would just, is very critical.
Well, one of the things I would emphasize in the current employment situation is how computer literate he is, because a lot of the work these days is done online and not involve extensive commuting in the area, which, as you know, living in the area is a major hassle. And so
Yeah,
we want
he's
to
pretty young,
encourage
so-
employment that discourages that if possible, at least initially, while we're trying to help them with the transition.
Yeah, I mean, I was also thinking, I didn't ask if they have a computer or if they need one, because that would
We'll-
help with English
We'll
classes.
provide computers for everybody, at least 2 for the family, okay?
Okay. Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah. But I mean, he's around 38. He seems pretty young. He's very knowledgeable. I'm concerned about a lot of my clients getting a job, but really he's not one of them. He's going to be just fine.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Sarah,
so much for,
Just a question, if I could, does he
Yeah.
they have cell phones? Do they have a
Hi,
cell?
sorry. Yeah, I just muted myself, for a second. So they have a cell phone, and I can, put the number in the chat.
Okay.
And it's good for 12 months. So he will have his one phone paid for 12 months. But the wife does not have a cell phone.
Okay,
I did get her like a cell. So we have these new plans from T-Mobile, and
Okay, we can
awesome.
also
we're
assist
able
with
to, like,
employment.
they're for refugees. It's paid for. No, it's just a separate thing, but I'm only allowed to give one per family.
Yeah.
So that's why only one person in the family has a work.
Okay, with,
No.
well, I
phone,
want
but
you
they
to
do
finish
have
your
a
list,
phone,
and then
but
I
they
have
need
a
a SIM
couple
card to
other
put in the
questions.
phone to work it.
okay.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. So I think we were at medical assistance. So this is specifically for accompanying for their initial health screening appointments. Sarah, do you have those scheduled or have they completed those already?
No, and they just got here last week, so
Yep.
CCI is very backed up.
Yeah,
All of
yeah.
our refugees, are required to go to 2 health screenings. I wouldn't expect it for several weeks.
Awesome.
So but they're on the list, and just, to touch on it before I remove myself. I've sent all of their information to be applied, so they could be applied for Medicaid. So Medicaid's in the process as well.
Awesome. So
Excellent.
yes, Sarah, when those initial health screening appointments pop up, please share with Gary and the rest of the team, because they will be providing transportation to the appointment. Is that still comfortable?
Yes, we'll get them there one way or the other, yes.
Awesome.
Will do.
School registration, you have all signed up to help with school registration. Do you have any experience in helping register for school?
Yes, multiple
Awesome.
times for multiple families, and we have direct contacts with the local schools, all the way up to the school board and the superintendent, you name it, and I'm sure we can find it, okay?
Awesome. So transportation, this specifically refers to the first 30
Liz
days.
has a question, Raj.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I don't see
With
the questions
respect-
when I'm sharing my
With
screen.
respect to the school registration, do you know if any of the school-aged children speak English? Or will we have to arrange for ESL classes for all of them?
So I know that the schools evaluate the children's as well, and I don't know
Yeah,
the
they do.
current English level.
They
But yeah,
will need to be
there's
put
no
into
rush
ESL.
about that. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
will need to
Sarah, we didn't hear you.
They will need to be put into ESL classes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, Liz, they need classes. We'll have to make sure they get evaluated. And once they move in, I'll talk to the school people to make contacts with this team about how to do that, okay?
I
Pat,
got a question real quick on the transportation. Has anybody made arrangements for child safety seats and booster seats? Because it sounds to me like all 5 children, depending on their height, all 5 children may need
So,
child safety seats to
Um,
be legal.
so there's a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old,
7-year-old.
A
a
6-year-old.
7, 6 or 7, and then a 1 and a 2. So yeah, we need a lot of car seats. I was just thinking too, we got donated a couple at the office, but I don't know if they've been grabbed up, so I can ask about that. So yeah, we definitely, if you guys could, if there's any donated car seats or anything, that would be great. As well as a stroller. I'm trying to find a double stroller for the 2 youngest. So if you guys have any donated like double strollers, that would be awesome. If not, we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I know we have single one storage, but not
We have-
many left.
We have a single, but no double. So yeah, a double, if you could get one, that'd be great.
Well, at least
Well-
the single will work for now, we can
Yes.
figure it out. Perfect. Thank you guys.
Pat, could you help contact Nancy Freeman and Marion about those issues? Because that's our outreach community, and Tamika Washington for the Baptists can also help with that. That's the kind of thing that a whole church could come together and support.
Okay, that's Nancy Freeman. Who else? Marion
Tamika
Eisinger?
Washington and Marion Essinger.
Very nice. And
Our group is much larger, Rayo, for different things, as I
Right.
told you.
you said somebody Washington?
Tamika
Oh,
Washington.
Tamika. Okay,
Yeah, she's the Interfaith Coalition. She's also on this group.
right. Okay. Yeah, I can coordinate that.
Thank you. Go ahead, Roger. Well, I got a couple financial questions and the move-in issues that I want to talk about after we finish this list, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to run through the list so we can talk about those stuff. So please bear with me.
Sure.
So again, for transportation, are you still comfortable with providing transportation for all major appointments, including interviews and LSS meetings for the first
Yes.
30 days? Awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
We'll do
health-
it for the first 6 months. We're prepared to do more than you're asking, okay?
That's awesome. We obviously appreciate that very dearly. So for selective service, just assisting the male clients ages 18 to 26 in registering for selective service.
That's not gonna be applicable. They got 10-year-old and 38-year-old.
That's perfect. That
I don't
less
think
work,
Hey.
less work.
I'm really not worried about that one. And I must admit, you'll forgive me, I haven't even thought of car seats since, well, let's simply say for about 30 years. So that's a new one on me too. So I need your guys' counsel on that stuff, okay?
Awesome. Yeah. So then we go to our ongoing adjustment support. So this refers to the ongoing adjustment for after the first 30 days all the way throughout the rest of the year. So
Right.
health advocate would be very, very similar to medical assistance, just to, again, helping transportation for medical appointments throughout the year. Obviously, we understand maybe sometimes you can't do every single time and just stay in communication with us and the client, but just to continue helping with transportation for specifically medical appointment.
Yes, the answer is yes. We look at those all together as opposed to separate needs. When we say transportation, I didn't segregate out one topic for another.
That's awesome. We have them listed out just to make sure we go over everything, but that sounds great. So financial literacy, providing guidance. So it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically 1 hour a week every week. It can be 2 hours bi-weekly or a longer session once a month, but we do want regularity because we believe financial literacy is key for our clients to reach self-sufficiency. Are you comfortable with this activity?
We are, and we've had actual accounting people that want to help with it. So you're going to get the most basic help that you need in that area, okay?
Awesome. For job development, we already covered this. You will not be responsible for finding the family employment, but just help them being ready for said coming jobs, like resume assistance, cover letter assistance, figuring out certain career paths that they may be interested in, and lots of interview practice. Still comfortable with this?
Yes.
Awesome. For neighbor, so connect the family to various resources in their community, such as local stores, pharmacies, faith or community centers. It can also be just showing them where it is or taking them.
We'd like to welcome them in and have them, and I must admit, I need your guidance here and from Sarah. We would like to introduce the family to the supporting congregations at some point, because the commitment the congregations are making is rather important to the long-term maintenance of this program and their support. So we'd like to be able to invite them to meet with the congregations on occasion over the next several months. I hope that that is a process that you folks have done before with other families. And we thought we would raise it for you because we're already getting questions about when so-and-so could meet them.
Yeah, absolutely. That is not a problem, and definitely something more than happy to share more about. It come the time. That sounds perfect. So just
Excellent.
moving on to
I had-
Navigator.
can
Oh
I
yeah, go
just-
ahead. Sorry.
Do you happen to know, are they Islam? And if so, do you know if they are Sunni or Shiite Muslim?
I don't ask those questions.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
we
Mosque,
generally
I
If they
don't know
share
of
it-
them.
If they
A
share it
mosque.
with me, they share it, but
Okay,
I'm assuming, yeah, I've only met them once and it wasn't anything that came up.
Yeah, yeah. For example, one way to word the question would be, which faith or community center do you usually go to? This would be one way that I would ask, just to ensure for cultural sensitivity. But yeah, we don't usually ask our clients, so we wouldn't know.
yeah, because I think there's two different mosques, and they're both not real close to here. But one is more Shiite, and the other one's more Sunni.
Yeah, Yeah.
And that's a cultural sensitivity thing too, I would think.
yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
the
No, and
Islam.
they'll know. So
Right, okay.
awesome. Yeah. So you kind of mentioned one of them as well. So Navigator help the family learn, navigate, and benefit from particular resources or systems, such as the public school, library, or benefit. So this is more if there's an actual benefit around their area, like a library card. The benefit is free Wi-Fi and free printing whenever they want. For public schools, some kids often don't know that there are after school programs. Some of our clients need ESL help, and certain public schools have after school ESL programs, and our clients don't go just because they don't know about it. So this would be to help researching for benefits around their residents and that they and their family could potentially benefit from.
So just for information, there is a community center like on the same block as
Oh,
Alpha
wow.
House. And they actually offer lots of support for the local kids, activities, special events, and all kinds of play activities. So yes, that's going to be very, very helpful. That's one of the big advantages of Alpha House being in that small Bowie community.
That's great. I mean, that's above and beyond. That's perfect. Awesome. So for transportation, so this is arranged transportation only in situations where public transportation is not practical. Maybe they need to do an appointment that for some reason public transportation is not practical. If you are interested in helping.
Well, they'll have an Uber card and our
Oh, wow,
numbers.
yeah.
So we'll work both ways with you.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
do want to, the Uber card's amazing, but I do want to stress that I don't want them to be fully dependent on the Uber card, because eventually that Uber card will not be their Uber card anymore, and they will have to learn how to navigate. So I think, a best of both worlds, I think is one of the more ideal situations. If that's okay with you guys, I think it's more.
Well, there's a bus stop less than a block away.
That's what
Okay.
we'd love to hear. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, no, a lot of our clients love Uber, but eventually the Ubers stop and they have to pay for them on their own. And, it's quite a pickle. So yes, just wanted to quickly say that.
No,
It's a
yeah,
good point.
absolutely.
So one of the things we're aware of is that the Metro, we can actually fund a Metro card or multiple Metro cards that is actually very efficient. And we will, our consultant lives on the same road that the house is on, or at least the bus stop is on. So we plan to educate them on the transportation system as like the primary. The Uber will be like backup.
Awesome. Awesome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. So this one sounds like it's going to happen supernaturally. So conversation literally refers to having conversations. It doesn't necessarily mean sitting them down and having specific English classes with them but just having intentional conversations that are engaging to them. Maybe they like a sport like cricket or a certain movie, but really just working on that conversational English. But it sounds like you are going to do above and beyond that.
We're way beyond that. and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have Clergy that want to visit with them from at least 3
Yep.
churches today. Of course, we have more than 20 volunteers that would like to meet with them
Yeah,
and churches that would like to invite them. I'm concerned about overwhelming them with contact
Yeah.
as opposed to withholding it at this point.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. We love to hear that. So next we covered it already a little bit. So donations refers to everything. So again, also would refer to strollers if there's any needs. It would refer to car seats if it was any needs. You're already providing 2 laptops, as you said yourself. And so if anything, this is separate from the apartment setup. So if anything were to need to be replaced in the apartment setup, like a rug, which is very important, maybe because something gets spilled over it, would you be comfortable in completing this?
We do regular maintenance in the house,
Wow.
and we'll assist them. We will provide a little bit of instruction for use of the kitchen facilities. We've had some
Absolutely, yeah.
issues in that area, and special pots and pans for the preparation of food and their cultural traditions is also being added
That's
based on the
amazing.
advice we've got.
That's awesome. Abdul Sami was asking me about those, and I was like, we don't have those donated, but that's excellent that you got those. Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the very last one is the most specific one. So learn a few personal strengths, talents, or interests of an individual family member, and identify opportunities to honor, affirm, or celebrate these with cultural sensitivity. So what this means is, for example, rather than you taking the family to their first baseball game, which is awesome, and that sounds great, but that's not what this refers to. This would be actually the inverse of that. It would be if the family, for example, likes cricket, which most of our Afghan clients do, it would be for you to learn how the sport of cricket works so that you can watch a game with them. In that, you are being culturally sensitive towards them and referring their strength, talents, or personal interests. So are you comfortable in doing such fun activities like that?
The answer is volunteers, a member of this group, are comfortable with that, and we will pursue it. But the engagement with the community will vary depending upon what the issue is that we're trying to become culturally sensitive about. So I don't want to tell you that there's one person that's going to be involved in every single aspect, because really we have a team of about 6 that are the core team and a larger group that will interface with them on other kinds of issues. So we want to be supportive. We will be supportive. And this is one of the higher expectations that we're going to have to articulate more clearly to our team, I think.
Yeah, and absolutely. And just again, to go back to my example, it doesn't mean that you can't take them to that baseball game to show them American culture. Please do that as well. It's just specifically to this one to also, check out the other side, basically. So we have gone through everything. So if there are no more questions about this, I definitely just want to stop sharing my screen and then go on to any questions about the family and also for scheduling. So I want us to schedule for their move-in and their apartment setup.
I just had one quick question for Dave Miller. I thought of this morning. Are there any toys at the house?
There are some smaller kid toys. What I'm going to do now that we have an idea, I'll take pictures of what we have, and that will be something that we can share widely after we've had contact with the family, what they would be comfortable with using. We've had several clients that had smaller kids. So I have smaller trikes, very kid-based toys. I got some mid-level kid toys, but nothing for the older kids so much.
From what
We
I've
have
been reading,
there is a playground there at the house,
Right.
Dave.
right, a swing set. I saw that.
Right.
But one thing I was looking on the internet this morning, cultural stuff, and one thing that occurred to me is a soccer ball with a
Oh, yeah.
10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
They
A
would lose their
soccer
mind.
ball is a no-brainer kind of.
Yeah, they would love that.
So if we don't have one there, I'll go to Target and get one. I mean,
Okay, we got a couple of old deflated soccer balls, but I think we need a new one. So get a couple.
okay. Okay.
Well, I
Awesome.
have 5 questions that I'd
Yep.
like to ask Sarah and Rogerio. So let me go through my list, which is, the first one is that, and this is not in any order, but let's say we want them to have bank accounts, okay? My impression from my reading, and you guys need to bring us up to date, is that each incoming refugee receives a check from the federal government. We would like to encourage them to open a local bank account and begin to put that money aside for their needs, but also for their future housing, since we're relieving them of the responsibility of having to pay rent. And that's worth in this area probably between $2,500 a month or more for the house they're going to be in. We'd like them to put aside those resources so that when they make the transition, they are in a position to afford housing in the area and not have to look at the lowest base rates available, because they will have built up some resources with which to make that transition. How do you guys assess that need? Encourage
Raj,
them to
Do you
do
want
a
me to
bank
take this
account?
one?
No, I got it, Sarah. So it's super easy. So we actually handle those funds that the state gives them, and we give our clients, each adult, a card, and then that we send money to, and they can use that card that they send money to just as a debit card, or they can open a bank account with it. Most of our clients open a bank account with it, but they still have that regular debit card. So we are the ones that send them the money. So if they need specific things, they ask us, but we don't just send them all of the money immediately. And towards the end of the reception and placement period, we use up all, which is 90 days. We then use up all their funds. So all adults will have a working debit card that they can already automatically turn into a bank account.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's very helpful to know that, because
I-
I was a little concerned about how they would handle those funds, and we were hopeful that they would open up bank accounts almost immediately. So the
Yeah.
fact you're doing that on a kind of a parcelization basis sounds good to me, at least, okay?
Would
I
you?
do want to also point out that you cannot open up a bank account until you get your social security number or a card in. So they will not be able to open their own bank accounts until those come in. Once they do come in, I recommend not connecting your bank account with the Visa card we give them. Like, as in, like, you don't have to stick, it's like a US bank card. Like, you don't have
Yeah.
to stick with US bank. Because those debit cards, they don't have like their names on them or anything like that. They are temporary. That is what I tell my clients. These are not long-term use cards whatsoever. We, put your welcome funds on these cards, and like usually, when the client arrives, I do want to say, like, their welcome funds are currently being spent because they do not have their food stamps. So, I had to take money out to give them money to buy food that they're here now. Even like we already had some food at the hotels already, but so they are starting to use that. And when their EBT cards come in, which is their food stamps cards, that's usually when I cut off any, like, I stop uploading cash onto their card, because we want to save that for rent. However, this is a different situation where they won't be paying for rent. But we can conserve that money. And if, there's some left over, I think we can figure out how to transfer it to their bank, whether that's taking it out by cash or anything else like that. So, yeah. And I also recommend, once you go with them to open up their bank account, if any of you guys could do that, that would be great. One, they need their social security number. Two, they need to they need to understand that there is a debit card and there's a credit card, and the difference between the two. And a debit card, you don't really know. And, I explained to my clients, credit is a very important thing that you need to know about and be aware of in this country. to buy a car, to buy a house, to buy anything, you need a good credit score, right? Even to rent, you need a good credit score. So, if you get a credit card, which, you do want the client to get a credit card because you do want them to start building credit when they get to the country. They need to understand that they have to pay that off. It doesn't have to be the full whole, but at least 100 to 200 at a time, they need to pay it off. And a lot of the times they can do it on their phone. So there's an app, you can download the app and you can connect your bank account that way. But that is something like I always mention with my clients is that there is a debit card and there is a credit card. You should get both because you should start building your credit for your family to have like any viable future of like buying a place or, renting a place on your own. But you have to pay that card off. You have to pay it off because if you get bad credit, you're not in a good situation here. So just another thing to mention.
Yeah, and this is all under the financial literacy and learning and tutoring and mentoring part. Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that.
Okay, second question is, do you have any concerns about our connecting them up with the local Afghan families in the area, particularly the families that we've been working with and have a consultant relationship with, because he will be working with us, and obviously there's about 10 families that we've been connected up to with church support. And I'd like to be able to connect this family up to that community so they don't feel isolated. So I'd like your input on that as well.
Yeah,
Immediately, don't
yeah.
worry about it. They really want to meet new Afghan. Like they were asking me about it when I met them. So yes, please, any Afghans in the area, please, please, please. They are
Yeah.
very anxious for their kids to play with other kids, to meet other people. So yes, all around.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing Sarah's saying. The more friends, the better. Or we want our clients to have friends. We don't want them to feel isolated. We want them to feel as though not only they are receiving help and support, but also that they're being integrated in their community.
Third question, how do you feel about our planning a kind of a welcome for them instead of just a move in and bring them in and take off, immediately provide food? We'll certainly fill the refrigerator and have food waiting, but we've also have several people that would like to plan a welcome, which I'm going to come back to when we talk about the schedule. So do you have experience with the sponsoring group, and that's what I consider us to be of this family, providing a welcome to them to help
Yeah.
be a part of the American community and our specific community here in Bowie.
Yeah, so if the family has any, sort of medical concerns, we usually steer away from having kind of like a welcome, but it doesn't sound like this family does. So I think that's totally fine and would be much enjoyed by the family and very, very, yeah, absolutely sounds great. Sarah, any input?
No, if everyone, is feeling healthy,
Yeah.
fine. If someone is not feeling good, and please don't let them, until Medicaid's a bit more in process. We really don't want them getting COVID at all, but,
Oh, we'll be careful about that. I agree. There
Yeah.
won't be anybody
just
that's
because,
not
there has been a spike. So,
vaccinated or whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. So in the future, obviously, we're going to look ahead at their transition. This is my next question. Do you assist us with helping to identify future housing options for them? Or is that something you want the sponsor to own? How have you handled the transition itself from this initial housing for the next 6 months or so to the future beyond that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if they plan on moving within that sponsorship period, so within that 1 year, so it would be on you to help them find a new housing. So again, you've signed up for housing, which refers to submitting an app for most people, because you guys own the house. But for most people, it refers to finding a good apartment for them and then submitting an application. So if they end up moving within that 1 year period, it's just to do those two things. Sending an application really doesn't take a long time, but just to support with finding an appropriate apartment for them. So the answer would be yes. If it's after the 1 year period, then you are not sponsoring the family anymore, and it is on the family.
Okay.
they do have a US tie, a family member in University Park. So if they do end up moving, I'm assuming it is going, unless they love Bowie, they might go to University Park.
Yeah, closer to their family.
Well,
Closer
that's
to
not
their
that
family.
far, actually. That's only about
No,
12
it's
to
like-
15 miles.
Yeah, like 20 minutes. We already looked it up. Yeah. So that's and the US tie, he's, their family. So we'll be there as much as he possibly can. And if they need help finding a place, I'm assuming the US tie will be helpful
Yeah.
in doing so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll have a bit more stability and being on their feet for a longer period of time. So it's less pressure on the US tie.
In our previous work with transitional housing clients, we have actually posted on the walls of the house on each level a set of rules that we expect people to do, such as cleanliness, the way they relate to the community, avoiding violence, firearms in the house, how to get a hold of the local police and get a hold of us, regulation of temperature and climate within the facility, just a set of rules about how to handle the living around the community. Do you have any objection to our sharing those rules and asking them to follow the general expectations that we've had for residents in our houses?
Yeah, absolutely not. So we explain even in the cultural orientation to all of our clients that when you are going to live somewhere, anywhere, apartment, home, lease, you're signing and you're agreeing to all of the rules in that lease, whether that be no pets, whether that be no firearms, whether that be whatever it is. So all of our clients already are coming into with this expectation.
Okay, well, we want them to understand, as they do with you, that they can expect things of us, as we've talked about throughout this interview and conversation, but we have expectations that they're going to make an effort, a genuine effort to try to work within the community, to meet and greet people within the community, and ultimately position themselves for a successful transfer to independent living within American society. So that's the commitment we want them to make, is our work with them matures.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll see very soon for them, it won't be a commitment, but a goal. So yeah, that sounds great. Awesome. Any other questions, Gary, or shall we move on
Well,
to
the last
scheduling?
one is simply the schedule that we
There we
put
are.
off. And I'm thinking, and I'll just voice my opinion, but I want it to be not a fiat, okay? And that is, I would like them to come and join us after the 4th of July. And because simply of all the conflicts we have with schedules in the last few days. So I'm thinking the latter part of next week would be the ideal time for them to move in at this point. And I just wondered how you guys had planned for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So usually we help with transportation, but you have signed up for providing that transportation for the hotel. So we would provide with you the address of the hotel, and obviously let the family know their move-in day. And that is it. It is yeah, just to pick them up and take them.
And just a heads up,
go ahead, Sarah.
in the chat, guys, sorry to interrupt, Raj. In the chat is the name of the hotel, the hotel address, my number, my email, and Mr. Abdul Sami Mohad's American phone number.
Chat, where is it?
I've got it written down. All of
Awesome.
them.
Where is it?
It's in the chat.
Okay, go to chat.
The 240 number is the father's phone number.
240-707-4222
Yeah, that's-
is his.
Yeah.
The other 240 number is Sarah's.
Okay, I hope you guys take pictures of that, because I'm recording it, but I don't have it all down.
All right, yeah, and the last thing and I'm sure it's already set, but I have to ask, just policy. So all of our clients can only move into fully furnished apartments. Is the apartment going to be fully furnished on move-in day?
Yes.
It is, but we
Awesome,
need to
awesome.
position linen and towels and that kind
Okay.
of stuff.
Yeah,
And that's the last step in the process, but it's fully
that's really
furnished,
minor.
fully
Yeah,
equipped, everything is there. We just have to make sure they can walk in the next room and take a bath with a clean
Yeah.
towel.
yeah,
Do
that's
you-
the that's the
are you
minor
guys
stuff.
planning on getting the towels and linens, or do you guys want, I don't know if we have towels. I know we have some linens in the pods, the donation
We-
pods.
we were gonna buy them, to tell
Okay.
you the truth, because usually we give them to the clients when they leave, all the linen, towels and other things.
Right.
So we'll buy new ones for these clients.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works. So, yeah, so Sarah, that is included in the apartment setup, so that
perfect.
works. Thank you so much.
And you will
for
let
providing
Kyle
those.
know?
Yeah, I'll let Kyle
Okay,
know.
okay.
Yeah, I can let him know today.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So that again, it's really just deciding on moving day, letting Sarah know, and Sarah will let the family know.
So a
And-
question, two
Dave,
questions.
what do you think?
Um,
Go ahead.
So, does anyone in the family at this point, are they smokers?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, great.
And I didn't
The sec-
smell any cigarettes either when I was around them, so I would assume no.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
We generally prohibit smoking in the building.
Right, that was just a back thing in the
If they
back of
do
my head.
smoke, really don't think they do, but if they do, they can go outside and I think they can respect that
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah,
And
right.
if, I think Mr. Abdul Sami will have to translate your rule list, into Dari, just for his wife, so she knows, because she does not,
Yeah,
yeah.
But I'm sure he'll take care of that. Yeah.
I'll
Oh, that-
send you the rule list, Rogero.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that works too.
So the other question is there, so our consultant, Shashar Wadi, is from near Kabul. And so what we would like to do is to introduce them to our group, and also to make sure that because he's the key to introducing them to the other Afghan families that are nearby. And that's sort of like a lifeline. So even though we wouldn't have them move in until probably next week, what is your feeling about having our consultant just give them a call, welcome them, and
Right.
introduce them to
Of
what
course.
Yeah, go
we're
for it.
about.
So I don't know about Raj, but go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, the commitment form is signed, you're all set, you started volunteering. Yeah, feel free to call beforehand. Sounds totally fine, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Friends, my inclination is to suggest July the 7th, which is 1 week from today. Do you have any concerns about that, or would you prefer to try to move it up a day or back a day? So we can get anything that needs to be done, because Jane, you're gonna have to do some shopping. We're gonna have to get some food lists and follow up with Shashan and have a larger meeting with our group tomorrow, or on Friday.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do an awful lot with Amazon, so it's just, we're gonna just get a huge dump as far as like linens and all is concerned.
Okay,
One of the things that we would like to do is at least have a discussion with the family about their sleeping arrangements, so that we can, before we actually, we have to adjust some of the room configurations to meet the way they want to organize their family
That is so
upstairs.
kind. Yeah, you can definitely do that beforehand in a phone call, but also, keep in mind if they come and then they say, could you help us move the beds from this room to that room? You can also do it after they move in. It doesn't like have to be done before, as long as the items are inside the house.
Right.
well, a previous phone call has been our experience to help, but there are 4 different bedrooms that we want to configure for the family.
Awesome. Yeah.
It'll work out pretty well. But again, let me go back to the group assembled here. Obviously, Heineke is not with us, but do you guys have any objection for them to move in on either the 6th or 7th of July?
I just want to point out, I will be out of town, but I will be back on the 10th. Okay, so I
Okay.
will be out of town. You guys, please go through with it. Please get them out of the hotel as soon as possible. But I will be out of town until the 10th. So just a heads up.
Well, then
Gary,
my
I'm
suggest-
available. I'm
Go ahead.
available all week. I'm available both days, all day.
All right, Liz, you got any issues that we need to
Yeah,
be
if
concerned
you re-
about?
If you remember, I sent an email, maybe last week, or the beginning of this week, to you and Dave and Jane and to Heineke. I am in Queens and in New Jersey on through the 10th.
Okay.
And these are things that have been planned for more than 6 months. So
Sure.
I don't have to be here. It's just that I think I had been thinking that I would be helping with preparing the meal, etc. And obviously, I won't be able to do that.
I must admit, Liz, I don't want to put it off till after the 10th. That seems to be prolonging it unnecessarily. That's almost 2 weeks. So if you don't mind, Raj and Sarah, I'm going to suggest that we'll be ready to pick them up and to transport them to the house on July the 7th.
Yep.
Okay,
Awesome, awesome. So,
Yeah,
so
love
Sarah,
that.
before,
And I will let the family know.
perfect. I was just about to say that. Yeah, before you go, just to let them know, and that is it.
Yeah, yeah, I will let them know, like literally in about 30
and you
minutes.
need to tell them that they will expect a phone call from our consultant,
Yeah,
Okay.
Shashan.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And perhaps
Shashan.
at least one other of our volunteers. And it will be either Liz or Pat or Heineke or Dave or Jay. I don't know which one will call them, but the bottom line is we'll call about configuration of the house. We'll call about integrating them with other families and any other details we have specifically. And you guys feel comfortable about our initiating these early conversations with them even before they move in. You don't see any problem with that at all, right, Raj?
absolutely no problem. Please do. We'll definitely tell them to just stay by their phone.
Okay.
Would there
I
be
don't wa-
any,
I-
sorry,
Okay, Pat, do you have a question?
I
I
was
don't
gonna
want to
say-
keep them tied up by a
I
phone,
know.
but I understand.
but would there be a big problem with like having Mr. Abdul Sami come and look at the house? And
Oh, absolutely.
At a
We
time?
can do,
but is that okay with Lisbon Social Services? I mean, is there a problem from your point of view, Raj?
Oh no, that's your home. Yeah, that's not a problem for us
I
at
mean, if
all.
we
I
could
don't have any
arrange,
problem with that, but I'd like Dave to be there about how the arrangements for bedrooms are going to work.
right,
Yeah,
but you
but
see what I
yes.
mean? We could get a lot of this done up front just with I could go pick up one person, if the.
Well,
Mrs.
I must admit, Roger, just so you know, we're going to probably initiate a call with them within the next 48 hours
Yep,
to talk about some of these move-in issues, okay? And then in anticipation, they're joining us in about a week, okay?
yeah, they're gonna be very excited.
Well, we're excited to have them. As a matter of fact, if I don't display it on my face, I'll tell you that I'm jumping up and down in this room right now with excitement because I think everybody's just waving their hands and wondering when they're going to join us. They're so excited about this opportunity. A lot of people have been praying about it. A lot of people are celebrating it. And we're just so pleased to be working with you to help implement it. So thank God you've seen fit to partner with us to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to all of you. We are the ones to thank you. We have to do this work, but you are all volunteering your extra time to help this family. And so that is really what we appreciate and really what we are able, thanks to community support, we're able to be successful. Thank you to all of you and for the work that you do. So
Well,
if
this is
there,
the first step in a long journey. So thank you very much for helping us bring it to this point. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. I saw Sarah had to hop off. It is after 5, so that's totally fine. But just just from all of us, thank you again for sponsoring. We'll obviously stay in contact. I am also out tomorrow and Friday, but that's it. Just tomorrow and Friday. Then there's obviously 4th of July. I'll be back Tuesday, and so if you need anything, I'll be available, phone call and email.
Okay. Well, thank
Okay.
you, friends, and look for a Zoom invitation for me for Friday for help follow up with our larger community. Roger, I'm not going to include you in that group. It'll be kind of an internal thing as we get ready for the transition for the family to join us next week. Okay.
Perfect, and good luck on your first contact with the family.
Thank you. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
All right,
Thank
a
you,
good
my
rest of
friend.
your Wednesday, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.